Welcome to all. In this video, we will see different types of vectors such as plasmids, phage mids, cosmids, bacterial artificial chromosome, yeast artificial chromosome, and P1 artificial chromosomes. The vector is the term refers. It is a DNA molecule used as a vehicle to artificially carry the foreign genetic material into another cell, where it can be replicated and sometimes it is used for expression. The examples for vectors are plasmids, phage mids, cosmids, bag, yak and pack. A vector containing a foreign DNA is termed as recombinant DNA. Some important features of a vector are it can able to self-replicate within the host cell and it should be relatively smaller in size. The ideal one should be less than 10 kb in size. Two kinds of DNA molecules that satisfy the criteria in bacteria as a vector are plasmids and bacteriophage chromosomes. That means bacterial artificial chromosomes. First we will see about plasmids. Plasmids is a small circular DNA strand of genetic material present in a bacterial cell or prokaryotic cell that can replicate independent of the chromosomes. The plasmids carry one or more genes which are responsible for the useful characteristic displayed by the host bacterium. For example, the plasmids carrying some toxin resistant genes that helps the bacterium to survive in toxic concentration. So look this picture. Other than chromosome, we can see extra chromosomal small circular molecules that are called as plasmids. In artificial plasmids, selectable marker is used. A selectable marker is a gene inserted into the plasmid and introduced into the bacterium for expressing certain antibiotic resistant genes that confers a trait suitable for the artificial selection. Examples are kanamycin resistant genes are incorporated in the plasmid with expression pattern, or ampicillin neomycin is also used. Most plasmids possess at least one DNA sequence called origin of replication that is necessary for the self-replication of plasmids inside the bacterial cells. And most constructed plasmids have the region called multiple cloning site or polylinker region. This region contains multiple restriction enzyme recognition sequences so that we can easily cut and insert a gene of interest. So the multiple cloning site or polylinker site region helps us to insert or remove any gene within the plasmids. Now we will see how antibiotic resistant genes used as a selection marker. Here we take one circular plasmid. The example is PET vector. It have the self-replicating origin of replication REC. In addition, you can see it has a ampicillin resistant gene and polylinker multiple cloning site region. Since this plasmid carrying ampicillin resistant expressible gene, when it is present inside the bacterium can survive against the presence of ampicillin in the nutrient medium. So when we perform the transferring this kind of foreign DNA inside the bacteria, the procedure is called transformation. After the completion of transformation, some E. coli or bacterium carrying the plasmid, some don't carry the plasmid. Those bacterium carrying the plasmid show the resistance against ampicillin since it is expressing through the plasmid. So once we culture the medium with ampicillin, whatever colonies or E. coli grow means it is containing a plasmid DNA inside of it. So it may quickly help us to select the bacterium that is carrying plasmid inside the E. coli cells. In such way, antibiotic resistant genes is effectively used as a selection marker. And based on the presence inside the cell, the plasmids are categorized into two groups. One is called non-integrative plasmids and second one is called episomes. The non-integrative plasmids are independent of the chromosomes. They will not interact with chromosomes. They exist as a circular double-stranded DNA, and when the bacterium divide into two, they can easily move to the progeny. Whereas another group of plasmids called episomes. Episome refers a genetic element. They can replicate independent of the host cell and also associate with the chromosomal DNA of the bacteria. For example, here we can see the plasmid. It can exist as independent, or this DNA is integrated with bacterial chromosome and it will go to its progenies and it can replicate and multiply. This kind of material is called as episome. Now we will see the terms associated with plasmids. One is size and second one is copy number. Plasmid size refers the number of nucleotide base pairs present in an plasmid. Usually 10 kilobase to 250 kilobase size is available for plasmids, and copy number refers the number of plasmids present in an individual cells. Here we have two subclasses. One is called stringent plasmids. It means it will present as a low copy number, that means low number of plasmids present in a bacterial cells. And the second category is called relaxed plasmids. Here multiple copies, usually more than 50 numbers of plasmids can be identified in each cell. And using plasmid is a promising cloning vector. A cloning vector needs to be present in a cell in multiple copies so that large quantities of the recombinant DNA can be obtained. Here we will see some of the plasmid examples: base pair size, molecular weight, and from which organism it is identified. The PUC18 is suitable for amplification in the E. coli and its length is 2.1 kb. Col-E1 plasmid is around 6.4 kb and it is also suitable for E. coli. And RP4 vector is around 54 kb, present in Pseudomonas and other species. F plasmids suitable for E. coli, that is a fertility plasmids, and 12 plasmids around 107 kilobase in Pseudomonas species, and PTIACH5 is 213 kilobase present in Agrobacterium tumefaciens. PTIX3 means we call it as TI plasmids. And another property of plasmids is conjugation of the plasmids. The plasmids, group of plasmids called conjugative plasmids, they show the ability to promote sexual conjugation between the bacterial cells. The conjugation and plasmid transfer are controlled by the group of genes called transfer genes or TRA genes. Usually these kind of genes are associated as a part of plasmids. So using that one, they enhance the conjugation. During conjugation, one copy of the plasmid is entered into the another bacterial cell easily. A non-conjugative plasmids may co-transferred along with conjugative plasmids. Sometimes a cells carrying two plasmids, one is conjugative, another one is non-conjugative. The conjugative plasmids enables the ways to transfer the plasmid. During that time, the non-conjugative plasmid also entered through that way. The different types of plasmids must be compatible to coexist in the same cells. So when we use a non-conjugative plasmid to transfer along with conjugative cells, means the two plasmids should be compatible. If the plasmids are incompatible, one plasmid will rapidly loss from the cell and only one will retain in that cell. So we have to confirm both the plasmids are compatible if we plan to transfer a non-conjugative plasmid through conjugative plasmid helper. Further we will see about compatibility of plasmid. Different types of plasmids must be compatible to coexist are present in the same cell. A non-conjugative plasmid may, under some circumstances, co-transferred will be with the conjugative plasmids, and if the plasmids are incompatible, then one or other plasmid will rapidly lost from the cell. In general, 5 major types of plasmids are reported. One is called fertility plasmid or F plasmid. These plasmids carry the TRA genes so that it may helps to transfer plasmids through conjugative mechanism. The example is F plasmid in E. coli. And another plasmid is called R plasmids or resistance plasmids. These plasmids carry genes resistant to one or more antibacterial genes such as chloramphenicol, ampicillin and mercury. Example is RP4 plasmid present in Pseudomonas. Third category is cold plasmids. This code for the chemical colicins. The proteins these kill the bacteria. Example Col-E1 of E. coli. That will kill the another species of bacteria. And next one is degradative plasmids. These plasmids can metabolize unusual molecules such as toluene and salicylic acid. Example toll plasmids in Pseudomonas species. And another plasmid is called Vir plasmids or virulence plasmids. These confer pathogenicity on the host bacterium. Example TI plasmids present in the Agrobacterium tumefaciens, which can induce the crown gall disease in the dicot species. The TI plasmids are approximately 200 kilobase in size. Now we will see the earliest example of a plasmid. The first constructed plasmid is PBr322. Here the term P stands for plasmid and BR stands for Bolivar and Rodriguez, those who construct the plasmids, and 322 refers the construct number. This is the first plasmid reported and it have 8 restriction site in polylinker or multiple cloning site, and it has 2 selection markers. One is ampicillin, another one is tetracycline, and it have restriction cutting sites such as PST, PVU1 flanking the ampicillin resistant gene, and BAMH1 and SAL1 flanking the tetracycline gene. So if you want to remove, just we digest with those 2 restrictions, and it have the RE1 origin of replication. In addition, it has a RAP protein, that means repressor of primer. These proteins play a role in regulation of the copy numbers inside the host cell. Another plasmid is PUC plasmid. The UC stands for University of California, where it is identified, and it contains a LAGZ gene marker which will be useful for colony selection, and it has ampicillin resistant gene, and it has multiple cloning site and origin of replication. Another group of plasmid called TI plasmids identified in Agrobacterium tumefaciens, and RI plasmids which is identified in Agrobacterium rhizogenesis. The TI plasmids causes crown gall in the stem, RI plasmids causes rhizogenesis in the root, and these plasmids containing a specific region called tDNA sequence. Between the left border and right border of tDNA, whatever material present is efficiently transferred and integrated into host chromosomes of the plant cells, especially dicot plant cells. This is example of a TI plasmids. It have virulence gene and it has the left border and right border. The region in between left border and right border is called tDNA region. DNA fragment present in between left border and right border is efficiently transferred to host chromosomal cells of the plant. In addition to bacteria, the plasmids identified in yeast cells, 2 micrometer circle plasmid is reported in Saccharomyces cerevisiae. The 2 micrometer plasmid allows the construction of cloning vectors, and it is suspected that many higher organisms simply don't harbor plasmids within the cells, with some exceptions such as 2 micromolar plasmid present in the yeast. And this plasmid is approximately 6.3 kilobase circular size, and it exists 50 to 100 copies per cell in the yeast, and it has 599 base per inverted repeat sequences called flip sites, and a set of small direct repeats called STBs required for the partitioning in the daughter cells, and it have Rep1, Rep2 and D proteins which can modulate the plasmid copy numbers and repress the expression of FLP proteins. So another group of plasmids are called phage-mids. The phage-mid or PASMid is a DNA based cloning vector which has both bacteriophage and plasmid properties. The bacteriophages are viruses that infect the bacteria. Generally 3 kinds of phages are there. One is lambda phage, it consisting of double stranded DNA and a cohesive or cosite, and M13 is a single stranded DNA, and in addition we have some retroviruses carrying RNA molecules, and this is a M13 phage, contains single stranded DNA inside the capsid as a genetic material, and this is the lambda phage, it contains double stranded DNA and it have single stranded cohesive ends or cosites which is approximately 12 nucleotides. In general, the lambda phage or any phages have followed 3 steps of phage infection cycle. Step 1 is the phage virus attaches to outside of the bacterium and injects its DNA. So first the virus identified the bacterium and injects that genetic material. The next step is inside the bacterium, the virus DNA replicates into many copies. Once sufficient numbers are replicated, it directs the synthesis of protein components which are necessary for the formation of capsids and other virus associated particles. Once it is assembled, it is released out by rupturing and killing the bacterial cells. This stage is called lytic stage. Without killing the cell, the DNA's multiplying stage is called lysogenic stage. So the lytic cycle is defined as the release of new phage particles associated with the lysis of the bacterial cells, and this lytic cycle will take very less time, just within 20 minutes it will complete. So another phase is called lysogenic phase. The lysogenic infection is characterized by the retention of the phage DNA within the host bacterium. So during this stage it will not kill the bacterium. The phage DNA is inserted into the bacterial genome in a manner similar to episomal insertion. Just the phage DNA sequence is integrated into bacterial chromosomal DNA sequence. The integrated form of the phage DNA is called as prophage, and it is usually in dormant condition. It is not doing harmful to the host. The bacterium carries a prophage is called as lysogen. The prophage bacterium is physiologically indistinguishable from the uninfected cell. In certain point, the prophage phage is eventually released from the host genome and reverted into lytic mode. For example, the infection cycle of lambda phage exhibit lysogeny and lytic phage together. Another phage is called M13 phage. M13 DNA is not integrated into the bacterial genome and does not become a quiescent. New phage particles are continuously assembled and released from the cell. Cell lysis never occurs here and infected bacterium can continue to grow and divide with a slower rate. Only lambda and M13 have found a major role in cloning vectors. Now we will see the linear and circular forms of DNA in the lambda phage. The importance of the lambda phage is the construction of a cloning vectors. The DNA is double-stranded linear with two cohesive ends. At either end, the molecule is having a short 12 nucleotide stretch which are complementary to each other. For example, here CCC, GCC, GCT, GGA is one and 3' end it is exact complementary to it. So when they meet together, they will form the circular DNA. The two single strands are complementary and so can be base pair with one another and to form the circular. These complementary single strands often called as cos sites or cohesive sites and a specific endonuclease that recognizes these 12 nucleotide and cleaves the cos site that leads to production of linear DNA. Next one is plasmids. The plasmids containing cos sites of the phage and origin of replication from the plasmid and selection marker and a polylinker is called as plasmids. So generally plasmids containing a combination of plasmid properties as well as bacteriophage DNA. It contains cos site and remaining plasmid material such as origin of replication, selection marker and polylinker site. It was constructed by the scientists Collins and Hahn in the year 1978. This used to pack relatively large size of DNA, that means up to 25 to 45 kilobase DNA is packed within the polylinker region using the plasmid. And it can be replicated as plasmids inside the bacterium since it contains origin of replication and we can amplify the plasmids, and also they can be packed as a phage capsids. Using that capsids we can transfer the foreign DNA into the host cell by infection and this process is called transduction. The next phage, M13 phage, is used as a cloning vector in special cases. Generally M13 phage is less than 10 kilobase in size and its genome behaves like a plasmid and can be treated as such for the experimental purpose. It is easily preferred from a culture of infected E. coli cells and it can be reintroduced into transfection. The genes cloned within the M13 based vector can be obtained in the form of single-stranded DNA. So this form of single-stranded DNA have advantages that we can use it for DNA sequencing purpose and other research studies. Cloning in an M13 vector is an easy and reliable way of obtaining the single-strand DNA and it is used in phage display analysis. It is a technique used for identifying pairs of genes whose protein products interact with one another. In addition, certain viruses also used as cloning vectors for other organisms. They are slightly modified and remove the virulence portion and employed as a cloning vectors for specialized applications. Human adenovirus are used in the gene therapy and baculovirus are used to synthesize important pharmaceutical protein. Calimovirus and Gemini virus have been used for cloning in the plants. Now we will see another part of vector called BAC vector or bacterial artificial chromosome. This is also a circular vector. The BAC is a DNA construct based on functional fertility plasmid, that means F plasmids used for the transforming and cloning bacteria, usually in E. coli. It is designed for the cloning large DNA insert, usually up to 100 to 300 kilobase of DNA can be inserted in the polylinker region and we can multiply in the E. coli host. It is used for cloning large size of DNA and especially used in Human Genome Project for sequencing purpose. It contains origin of replication and rep key site for maintaining the copy numbers. And selectable markers also present and LAGZ also present. And it has the promoters such as T7 and SP6 phage promoters for controlled or regulated expression of the protein. Next one is yeast artificial chromosomes. Engineered linear DNA used to clone large size DNA up to 1 million base pair in yeast cell is called yeast artificial chromosomes. So here it contains the portions like 2 telomeres, that is the end of the linear fragment, and then they can be combined and make it as a circular vector for amplification purpose. And it contains ARS sequence. ARS stands for autonomously replicating sequences and it has one centromere similar to eukaryotic linear chromosomes. And as we discussed, it has two telomeres, centromere, and it is combined and make it circular for bacterial amplification. In addition, it is carrying origin of replication in yeast, so it also multiply in the yeast. And it has selectable marker for yeast and selectable marker for E. coli, so that we can use it to amplify both in bacterium as well as yeast. And the next one is BAC, that stands for bacteriophage P1 artificial chromosome. So it is derived from the bacteriophage. In P1 bacteriophage lysogenic cycle, viral genome do not integrate with bacterial chromosome as we discussed in lambda phage. It can be used to transduce large size DNA from bacterium to the another cell. The site specific recombinase CRE is present in P1. So this is useful for time specific and therefore tissue specific recombinant expression of specific gene, the LOXP site. It carry 100 to 300 kilobase of DNA. So here it has one origin of replication. It has two LOXP site. So this LOXP helps to CRE-LOX based conditional expression of the proteins, and it has selection markers such as kanamycin resistant proteins. Thank you.